Redditors, what was your "did I fucking stutter" moment? Story 1. When I finally kicked my ex out of my life, she tried to argue us back into being together. As I drove her to the airport, she even had the audacity to critique my arguing techniques as inconducive to resolving a fight. I cut her off and said, "What part of this are you not getting? We're way past that. This is not a fight I need to work through with you. I'm taking you to the airport, and I never want to see or hear from you again."
Poem time. In the car, on the way to the flight. My ex, she argued with all her might, critiquing my skills, in a hopeless endeavor. I said, "Sweetheart, we're not fighting, it's goodbye forever. To the airport we go, on this fateful day. No more together, no more to stay." I looked her in the eye, with a grin so wide. Said, "This argument, darling, is a one-way ride. No more bickering, no more debate. I'm dropping you off at the airport gate. So wave goodbye, with a tear or a frown. This arguing chapter, my dear, is shutting down. Take your critiques, your drama, and strife. This is the end, it's the close of our life. I'll drive away, with a heart that's free. No more arguing, just joy for me."
Story 2. Found out my supposed best friend, who I was letting live on my couch, was cheating on me with my girlfriend at the time, with whom I shared a place. I work in IT, so I often put in crazy long hours. However, we had a massive power outage one day, and the boss suggested going home for the day. I left 5 hours early. Caught both of them red-handed. Kicked them both out at once, which was ideal because I got a bit of a two birds, one stone type of deal. They both apologized profusely and asked me why, even though they made a mistake, I would kick them out onto the streets in an area where they can't afford to live, Silicon Valley. I laughed my ass off and said, "I guess that's something you two should have figured out during pillow talk, huh?" Then, I slammed my front door as hard as I could in their faces. Needless to say, it wrecked me for a while because I loved that girl. However, looking back on it, I think it's the only moment in my life where I'm proud to have stood up for my morals and values and not taken any shit, or continued to let people walk all over me. And that, my friends, is priceless. Story 3. No, thank you. I don't want to work on Saturday. Are you doing anything on Saturday? No, I just don't want to work on Saturday. You contracted me to work weekdays. Anyway, I received a complaint filed against me for not being a team player. Additional context, it was my first job after leaving school, so I wasn't experienced in defending myself against office issues. At the time, I did work a few Saturdays to appease them, but later joined a sports team, providing me with a legitimate reason not to. I have since moved on to a better job. Story 4. Got this call today. I was at the beach all morning, and when I walked home and checked my phone, my boss had called 3 times, left 2 voicemails, and sent a few texts. I called back, and she blew up at me for not answering. When I told her I was at the beach, she yelled at me for not bringing my phone. I basically said, if I'm on call 24/7, I want my salary doubled. She asked what I said, and without even a second passing, I repeated myself. Not sad if I don't have a job come Tuesday. Story 5. I work a job where I have a week on and a week off. After my week of work, I legitimately had wedding-related tasks to handle. Despite being in a tough spot last month, I worked 3 extra overtime days to help out. I informed them afterward that I'd be busy. However, 2 days later, I get a call from my boss, "Hey, I need you to work tonight." "All right?" Me, "I can't, I'm busy the rest of the week, boss, excuse me?" Me, "I can't, I'm busy the rest of the week, boss." "Busy with what?" "Huh? Drinking and partying?" Me, what? Who said anything about drinking and partying?" My boss genuinely couldn't grasp the idea that we have a life outside of this job. He even threatened not to give me time off next time I request it, essentially calling me out for not pitching in, despite just working 3 days overtime, totaling 10 days. I called him out on everything he said, and he backtracked on it all and apologized. Then he says, "You realize I could write you up over this?" I said, "Write me up for what? Being busy on my week off? Yeah, that would be dumb." My boss, yeah, it would. Get out of here with that, edit. What's funny is, since that conversation, word has gotten around about our interaction, and apparently, he's told everyone that he caught me in a big lie about being busy when I wasn't, and that he had to put me in my place and give me a stern talking to because I disrespected him. LOL, he never caught me in any lie because there was no lie to tell. I also never disrespected him. I made it a point to stay calm during that conversation and talk to him with respect. I feel like he just wanted to look like the macho boss. But he's going around making it look like he caught me in some big lie, and it's not true. I mean, he even apologized. LOL, what's sad, though, is I told him it sucks to put in 5 years here and basically be told I'm worthless just because I couldn't work one night. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Otherwise, you wouldn't be saying, I'm sorry, how can I make this right? By treating me with decency, how about? It's just crazy to me that it's hard for my boss to believe that after we work a week straight, we might have stuff going on in our lives afterward. It's like in his head, everything is about this job. Sorry, man, but people have lives outside of work too. Story 6. I have a salaried job, so no OT, and in my last position, my boss started mandatory Saturday shifts because our department was such a mess. When I told him I couldn't do many weekends because we were planning our wedding, he gave me the whole speech about not being a team player, blah blah blah. I think I worked one Saturday and did nothing but play my 3DS all shift in plain sight of everyone there. Fuck you, Tim.
Poem time. Salary job, no overtime plea. Boss imposed Saturdays, a decree. Chaos blamed on our department's lore. I can't, I said, wedding plans galore. Team player speech, blah blah he raved. One Saturday worked, my sanity saved. Played my 3DS, in plain sight so true. Shift passed by, without a single boo. So here's to Tim, with disdain so clear. Wedding first, your Saturdays, I cheer. In plain English, without a whim. A hearty, fuck you Tim.
Story 7. Working in a timber mill, the floor boss approached me, hey, can you work overtime today? No, I have a doctor's appointment for my daughter an hour after work. I cannot, 45 minutes later, hey, yeah, so we're gonna have you lock down the planer infeed and clean up under it after the shift. No, you aren't, because I'm taking my kid to her doctor's appointment. Well, if you don't, we're gonna put a checkmark next to your name, and you'll lose 20% of your annual bonus. I was hired 3 days after the deadline to get the bonus this year because you greedy folks wanted to save money. I'm already not getting it despite only working 3 days less than everybody who is. I feel no obligation to jump through hoops for you. Next time you want to pull a carrot on a stick routine, don't forget to bring the goddamn carrot. He looked like a weird combination of scared and confused. Like, oh, fuck, that's right, we fucked him over right out the gate, he's not gonna do jack shit outside of the minimum required. Long story short, I got my bonus that year anyway.
Poem time. In the timber mill's hustle, the boss drew near. Overtime today, he asked, no room for cheer. No can do, got a doc visit for my kid. After work, that's where my time is bid. 45 minutes past, a second request. Lock down the planer, clean up, it be our best. I can't, doc's appointment, it's set. Family first, don't you forget. Threats followed, a checkmark in the air. Lose 20% of the bonus, a move unfair. Hide late, missed the bonus train. No carrot, no game, no bonus to gain. No obligation, no hoops to jump. Not for a bonus, not for a lump. Bosses face a mix of fear and confusion. Realizing, perhaps, a flawed illusion. Long story short, bonus in hand. No tricks, no gimmicks, met the demand. Lesson learned in the mill's array. Family first, no carrot, no play.
Story 8. As a vehicle inspector, sir, your back right tail light is broken, you need to get that fixed and come back. I'm friends with the owner here, and you're telling me that my car has a problem. I already have. If you aren't prepared in the future, don't waste my time. Story 9. When I resigned from my last job due to a promotion, I informed my current boss that I had accepted the promotion. I provided 3 weeks' notice, specifying that my last day would be March 31st. Surprisingly, he insisted that we would discuss when he would allow me to leave and that I wasn't permitted to leave until he said so. Firmly, I reiterated that March 31st would be my last day, and it was non-negotiable. He stands out as the worst person I've ever worked with in my career.
Poem time. Resignation due to a promotions call. Informed my boss. Gave notice, not a small. 3 weeks ahead, my departure's decree. March 31st, my last day, clear as can be. Surprisingly, he insisted, a power play, when you leave, we'll discuss, he'd say. Non-negotiable, I firmly declared, March 31st, my departure prepared. Worst person worked with, in my career span, power struggles, a boss without a plan. Promotion in hand, I stand my ground, March 31st, my freedom is found.
Story 10. I worked as a customer service representative for a popular pizza chain and received a call from an angry customer. They were complaining about a messed up pizza, and I asked for details about their order. However, their story kept changing over the next few minutes. If first, it was the sauce, then the toppings, and finally, a missing side. I called him out on it and suggested he try scamming another restaurant. Needless to say, he only got one F-bomb in before I hung up on him.
Wish I had your backbone. One of our drivers forgot a 75-cent dipping sauce during a delivery. They called and complained, and the protocol was to offer them a free pizza on their next order since driving all the way out for 75 cents wasn't worth the time or money. Well, this customer kept complaining until I offered her 3 large pizzas. Then, she went on a power trip, claiming she would never eat here again. One of my driver buddies overheard and decided to take matters into his own hands. He gathered as many sauces as he could and drove over to her house. I stayed on the line long enough to stall until I could hear their doorbell ringing. When she returned, she just hung up.
I kind of wish he had just brought one single sauce.
Presented on a luxurious velvet pillow, adorned with an air of elegance, your sauce, madam.
Story 11. I was working at Wally World, and a customer, who was on his phone from the start of his transaction, This placed a large package of toilet paper on the belt. I informed him it was $10 even. He was still on his phone, but handed me a $10 bill. After giving him his receipt, he walked away. Right before he exited, he noticed I didn't give him the change and tried to argue that I hadn't told him it was $10, demanding a refund. I directed him to customer service since I couldn't provide a refund even if I wanted to. Under his breath, he mumbled that I was a dumb, and I replied, "It's not my fault you were on your phone." He turned around and said, "What did you say?" I slammed my hands down on the countertop and asserted, loud and clear, I said, "It's not my fault you were on your phone." He took a step back and left, and I went on my break. Worth it.
Poem time. Wally World's tale, a customer on the phone. Transaction start, a situation to bemoan. Toilet paper on the belt, $10 to convey. He handed a bill, still in phone sway. Receipt in hand, he strolled away. Realized no change, wanted to replay. Claimed I hadn't warned, it was a game. Directed to customer service, not my claim. Under his breath, he mumbled, "Dumb." I retorted, "On your phone, your brain's on the hum." He turned, demanding, "What did you say?" Slammed the counter, clear as day. "I said, it's not my fault you were on your phone." Asserted loud, a fact firmly known. He stepped back, a retreat in his wake. I took my break, a stand to take.
Thanks for watching.